this episode of Warrior Summit Outdoors, we're going to be deer hunting. That's right, we're deer hunting this episode. And the good folks at the State Correctional Institute in Dallas, Pennsylvania has invited 27 wounded warriors to come out and hunt their property. Now this property is unique, and not in the sense that it's a prison, but the grounds, which is a couple thousand acres, hasn't been hunted in 15 years. So there are some very large bucks that are going to be in the area. And I know a lot of the guys are looking forward to this. This is something that we were announced a couple months ago. So we've had time to really just get excited and get prepared. And for a lot of guys, this is going to be their first deer hunt. And I think there's no better challenge than trying to get a deer for your first hunt. So let's stick around and see how the guys do.
For more information on Warrior Summit Outdoors, we invite you to visit our website, www.couragehealsthesoul.com. There you'll find information about your host, Erik Olson, some of our upcoming episodes, and more.
We arrived at SCI Dallas Prison Grounds for a great hunt and heard first from the superintendent who helped facilitate the event on the property leased by the prison.
Well, this is actually our third annual Wounded Veterans Hunt. We invite about 30 veterans that have honorably served the country to come and participate in a buck hunt, but today is actually a buck and a doe hunt. Because of the way that the season fell. You walk around this hunting camp today and all you see is smiles, and it's not just from the hunters, it's from all the volunteers, the staff members, the retirees, their families. You can't explain the feeling that's here today. The camaraderie, the brotherhood. Probably 80 to 90% of my staff are veterans, and they enjoy giving back. They enjoy working with their brothers.
It's Saturday morning. We're doing the Dallas prison hunt, and we're in our blind now, and it's just after first light. Hopefully, we've already heard a couple shots, so hopefully we're going to see some deer moving into our area, and we're going to, let's hope we see some big ones. The whole idea is, I think if we've got couple different areas covered or near a field, and hopefully the deer are going to come in and work this ridge line in our direction. So let's stand by to see what we can do. Well, we just saw two does that just ran across the field over here. It's just what we thought. They came across and worked this ridge line. I think we were a little too high up, and we're going to move down now to a little small tree over there where we think we can set up a good ambush spot for them if they start coming across again. Hopefully we'll see a buck this time. So we'll see what we can get. So we just saw 4 does that just came in. They were very small, but I was hoping Big Brother or Daddy would be coming right behind them, and just wasn't meant to be. They just moved by us for about 15 minutes, seemed like. Didn't seem to mind that we were here, and that's a good sign. Couldn't wind us. So let's hope the big boy comes.
While I continued my morning hunt, my buddy and combat veteran Chris Geiser hunkered down in his spot for the morning hunt.
My name's Chris Geiser, United States Army veteran, here at Dallas Prison in Dallas, Pennsylvania. The guys here put on a really good show for us. Bring us veterans out. I think it's like 1,500 acres of land. It hasn't been on it in 15, 20 years. I was here last year and got a nice 10 point. So I'm hoping to get another one. If not, it's still an enjoyable day with the guards and Captain Paul putting this hunt on for us disabled veterans. It's very well appreciated. It's beautiful to be out on a nice Saturday. Look at some deer running around and be with fellow veterans. This is what it's all about. In the woods, being with people you served with, other brothers and sisters. So, I think it's going to be an awesome day. I had my coffee, so I'm good to go. Alright, it's been about an hour and a half since shootable hours came up, since the sun came up. We heard multiple shots all over the place, pretty much in like a 360 degree surrounding. I would say maybe about 8 to 10 shots. I just saw actually twice they bringing deer out, so those guys are pretty successful so far. It's still kind of early, about 8:30, so we have been seeing little herds here and there running across the fields, just not coming our way. But you never know. They keep pushing, and some more pressure that's out. I think we might get lucky today. Came right down through those thickets right there. just disappeared. Oh, there he goes. Got it. He's going down. I just texted the guide, so he might come down. All right, I'm gonna walk over. It looked like, I didn't see how many points, but he was kind of wide.
Mm-hmm.
He was out there, and he was following a doe, a smaller doe. So it came over this wall about right here, and I shot it down right over this wall.
Mm-hmm.
I hear it, brrrr.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it run this way. Then I lost it right in here. Then about a minute later, I saw two run up this way. So I don't know if there was three together.
Okay.
Or I shot it, came back this way. I mean, you heard it. It was like, brrrr. I thought it was the death mode.
Right.
But then, like I said, a minute later, I saw two run that way.
While Chris Geiser continued hunting for his buck, I headed back to camp to check the midday bounty, eat some lunch, and warm up prior to the afternoon hunt.
Well, so we're ready for the afternoon hunt. We just went in and had some lunch. Got to meet up with the other guys. Got a lot of bucks already, the other wounded warriors. I think they got somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 different bucks, and a lot of them are pretty impressive. So we've got our work cut out for us this afternoon. The ironic thing is I went to see my buddy Chris Geiser, who shot a buck but couldn't find it, right? He said he saw it go down, and then the deer took off, couldn't find it, had no clue where it was. So about 45 minutes later, we're all sitting there, and one of the other guys that we know shoots a buck and describes it. So Chris asks him, does it have 2 holes in it? Chris, and the guy comes back, yeah. Turns out the other guy shot Chris's buck that had already been shot once, that had escaped. So the funny thing is, Chris now is going to have to fight over who gets that deer. But I'll tell you, that serves Chris just fine, because last year at our Wounded Warrior hunt here at the Dallas SCI prison, we had to draw spots when we first got here. You could have spot 1, you could have spot 2. It depends on what the drawing is. I drew number 24. Chris drew number 25. So you would think, so we all go out in the truck together, and the guy says, hey, number 25, come with me. Takes him into the woods, drops him off, comes back and says, oh, darn, I accidentally put him in 24. So he goes, oh, don't worry, I'll take you to 25. So Chris is now in my spot, and I'm now in Chris's spot. About an hour after first light, Chris shoots a 10-point buck. I see nothing. So I give Chris guff all year long that he shot my deer. So my family is without meat this year because Chris shot my deer in my spot. Good times, and that's just the good stuff among a bunch of combat veterans when we hang out together. So let's hope the afternoon gets a little bit better for me, and I think I feel lucky, and let's hope a big buck comes out.
What an incredible day. It was very cold, but the hunters were hot. Very successful, bagging a lot of doe and some real monster bucks. It was a special day thanks to the folks at SCI Dallas, a day for combat veterans to hunt relatively untouched lands. And importantly, a day for healing the scars of war in the great outdoors. Over 20 veterans a day commit suicide, and as a nation, we must do more to save the lives of America's finest when they return from war. Getting into the outdoors is healing. It's life-saving. It sure is a beautiful thing.
Here we are with the mystery buck. From what happened this morning, we had a buck that rolled in, probably about a 70-yard shot over a wall and through some brush. Shot it with the inline. We got it on video where he went down, heard a moan, and we went to track it. And there was nothing, no blood, no hair, no signs, except for a little kick up. So we searched for it for a long time through some marsh, through some woods, through some pines, and still couldn't find anything, no tracks, no nothing. And I guess about an hour and a half later, a good friend of mine, Chris YASHER, shot him. And we figured out there was the buck that I messed up on my shot, shot him too high. So I'm just glad that a fellow veteran got it, and we know what happened to the buck, and he's not out there suffering. So it was kind of a bittersweet thing, but at least we know what happened, and someone's walking away happy, so I'm happy.
Had the opportunity to come to a hunt today, an incredible event that they have for veterans in the state of Pennsylvania, in Luzerne County at the Dallas State Correctional Institute. The property around it is untouched for many, many, many years, and they decided to open that up to 2 different weekends, one weekend for youth and another weekend for the veteran population. This is my 3rd year here. I've harvested a exceptional deer last year. I'm very, very, very fortunate this year. First time shooting a deer that another hunter had shot, and it was actually a good friend of mine. So I'm excited. I'm thankful, and I will be, when we actually butcher these deer, I'll be taking half of it to my friend that shot this one right over here. So, oh my goodness. Wait till you guys get to see the buck that just came in. The highlight is without question the people, the fellow veterans that are coming here. We've had the opportunity to communicate with a lot of our friends that now come to this year and year after. That is a 140 at least class buck that you're going to be seeing shortly. It is an absolute monster. And that's what you get up here. You get big bucks. And it's an absolute joy to come to. It is, that is a huge buck. Very nice. My friend, hey, hey, that is a monster, man. Holy cow. Somebody else in that stand. That's a beast. Yeah, there was a 5 and a couple little bucks. You shot it with the muzzle or one shot? Holy cow.
That's how we found him. I saw that shit eating grin through the woods.
What was that a beast?
Well, it's about 30 minutes before dark. Looks like we're not going to succeed tonight, but we had a great day, had a great time, did freeze, but hey, that's what's called getting into the outdoors. Even though we didn't have any success, the other combat veterans did. We had probably 13, 14 bucks taken today by the other guys, and I think that's a pretty impressive total. We had some laughs today. A couple guys had one deer get shot by 2 different people. They had to fight over who got the deer, which figuratively, not literally. But now it was good for a good laugh. But it took a lot of courage for the guys to come out here and come out of their comfort zone, and I think everybody had a good time. I want to especially thank the State Correctional Institute at Dallas, Pennsylvania, and the staff that put on this hunt for the Wounded Warriors. It was a remarkable event, and it's always appreciated, and this is the 3rd year that they've done this, and it's truly appreciated. And remember, there's 2 types of courage. There's the courage to face the enemy in battle, but there's an even bigger courage that it takes to come home and live with it. And remember, courage heals the soul.